Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning. Hope everyone is doing well. And I think you'll find the topic interesting this morning, hopefully. Okay, just waiting for a few to come on here this morning. Okay, here we go. And Bonnie, Elizabeth, Nativity, good to have you on. Keith, our friend from Windsor, John from Elgin, Illinois, where they made the Elgin watches. Jean and Rosa and Meredith and Patrick and Shannon. Okay, let me go up. There was one name I missed. Sonia, how are you? Andrea and Dave and Jerry, Nouveau Brunswick. And Rebecca says, great sunny morning. Well, same to you, Rebecca. It is a beautiful day here. Yesterday I went for a walk and the colors. Fantastic, really. And Nicole, how are you? Emily, how are you? Sharon, hold on. Let me go back. Alina, Jeanette. I just didn't want to miss anyone. Pauline, Jan, and Laura, Wilfred, Carrie, Jeanette, you guys are great. Mark, Joan, Denise. Okay, Joss, good morning to you from Sturgeon Falls. Anna and Cheryl, Yalound, good morning. Okay, guys. You know what? I'm going to post this, okay, on the private Facebook group after. I'll just show you these. This is a study. I haven't seen it anywhere on the mainstream media, but it was pretty interesting in terms of total sugars. And what was done was, on average, daily sugar intake between three countries, China, Mexico, and the United States, okay? China, Mexico, United States. Interesting. Sugar. And they broke it down into two groups. Sugar added to food, and then natural sugars that people were eating in fruits, some vegetables, but mostly fruits, okay? You really get a picture here of what the big problem is in our society today. Huge issue. And comparatively, and we'll talk about that as we go through it, but let me just give you these things. And like I said, I will post this, okay? I'll post it after so that you can see it. If you take notes, well, you can write this down, okay? Between China, Mexico, and the United States, the amount of sugar now added and the amount of fruit sugar, fructose, that is part of our diets every day on average, okay? So let me just give it to you and then we'll break it down. In China, Chinese, they added 26 grams, okay? So about a little bit more than 4 teaspoons of sugar a day, added sugars to their diet. Then, plus 9 grams of fruits. So fructose, okay? So added sugars, which is mostly high fructose corn syrup. And if you got another name for it, it's only a disguise. Because the food industry, that's what they use. High fructose corn syrup. So 26 grams in China, about 4 or 5 teaspoons, let's give it 5, and 9 grams of of fructose from fruit and some veggies, okay? Now, that was in China. In Mexico, it was 92 grams of added sugar every day. 92 grams. That's a lot. 92 grams of, let me just see here, approximately, okay? That's 23 teaspoons of sugar a day in Mexico. Now, remember this about COVID, okay? I actually did a podcast on this. The health czar during COVID, and it made the headlines. I mean, it wasn't broadcast the way it should have been, but it hit some mainstream headlines, and that is in Mexico, the health czar during COVID went after Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola was cheaper in Mexico than water. And he said, "You're killing our people, Coca-Cola. You're killing." And the reason COVID, and this is well established, is that COVID and diabetes, well, it was even mentioned yesterday on the mainstream media. I mean, they're not even arguing this. If you got problems with your metabolism, you got metabolic syndrome, which is insulin resistance. The health czar in Mexico had it right. And that makes you 100 times more susceptible to COVID, amongst many other things, of course. So he was, the health czar was furious at Coca-Cola because they promote their product in these small villages. And I'm sure this has to do with the 23 teaspoons of added sugar. And they had 55 grams. So they had 92 and then another 55 grams of fructose from fruit. Okay? Which I call God's candies. Now that's in Mexico. China, 5 teaspoons to 23 teaspoons. And let me do a little bit of math here. In the United States, and we don't have Canadian stats, but I'm sure they're in the United States, listen to this. Every day, on average, the average American consumes 124 grams of sugar, 31 teaspoons a day. 31 teaspoons a day of added sugar. And then another 76 grams from fruit. Now, I don't know if they're counting the number one fruit consumed in North America is what? Orange juice. And you know what I think about that. The worst thing you can do is drink fruit. Okay? The worst thing you can do. Now, Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie allows you a few berries. Not orange juice. So you see the problem? You see the problem? I was online last night with people that were, doing the reset. And I understand it, I get it. But the doctor, God bless them, they're worried about cholesterol. Your LDL is so bad. Low density lipoprotein. Cholesterol is the boogeyman still in medicine today. It's so hard to change their mind. But the elephant in the room is not cholesterol. This doctor said, quit eating so much animal fat and protein. The problem is just what we talked about here today. It's not cholesterol. It's sugar. It's sugar. And what sugar does is it spikes your insulin. Insulin's job is to take sugar out of the bloodstream. Your body will not allow sugar to stay in the bloodstream. Empty out your 5 liters of blood. Pour it on the ground and search for sugar. You're lucky to get it, you'll get less than a teaspoon of it, even if you consume 20 orange juices and 5 chocolate bars. Your body is so fearfully and wonderfully made. Sugar is toxic inside your blood vessels, not cholesterol. I was online yesterday with another former patient. Oh, Dr. Martin, I got hardening of the carotid arteries. What's that caused by? Sugar. It looks like fat. I know, I get it. It looks like fat. Cholesterol is fatty. It's a fatty substance. Oh boy, I got hardening of the arteries. It must be cholesterol. No, it isn't. You need cholesterol. You can't live without it. 85% of your cholesterol comes out of your liver. God doesn't even trust you. You won't eat enough of it. So what does he do? Your liver makes 85% of it. You have to substitute that other 15%. You have to add 15%. You better eat it. Bad lipids, fat, bad fats are what? You know the answer to this. Repeat, repeat, repeat. What is a bad fat in your body? Is it cholesterol? No. It's triglycerides. 3 fat balls. I'm going to bring some fat out here. 3 fat balls. What will make this fat? The 3 fat balls that will go through your bloodstream and clog up your arteries. What makes these? Not cholesterol. Triglycerides. 3 Triglycerides, fats. 3 fat balls. How do you make triglycerides? Sugars. You try... You try and undo 60 years of bad teaching in nutrition. 60 years of it. Doctors, and God bless them, they go to medical school. And even today, even in 2020, they're being taught, you better lower that animal fat because fat makes you fat. In medical school. And a lot of other schools too. Dietitians. Holy moly, they're smart. You know, not easy to become a dietitian. But their training is, why don't they invite me? No, but I go back to just simple biochemistry. You got to undo it. You have to undo it. So, of course, what am I doing? You know, with a couple of people online yesterday. I know you're under a lot of pressure. The doctor's looking at LDL or total cholesterol and they're going, oh, I've never seen such numbers. They got their biochemistry wrong. I'm sorry. It's triglycerides. Plus, you need to have good HDL. What is HDL? High density lipoprotein. It is good cholesterol. By the way, there's no bad cholesterol. There's bad lipids, but that's a triglyceride. You can hardly get medicine to even look at triglycerides. They do the testing when they do the lipid profile, but they don't, they go directly to, oh, what's your total cholesterol and your LDL? It's looking for love in all the wrong places. Ooh, I'm telling you, it drives me insane. It's why I got gray hair. No, but I don't care, guys. So I'm going to repeat it 1,000,000 times. I'm going to repeat it 1,000,000 times. I will repeat it every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. There is an agenda to be a vegan, to be a vegetarian. It's an agenda. It's a religion. And cows are bad. They're bad for the environment and they're bad for you. No, they're not. They're very good for you. And I've proven it to tens of thousands of patients. Change your diet, cut out your sugars, stop eating, consuming 31 teaspoons of added sugar a day. Stop. And then your 76 grams, which is 19 teaspoons of fructose. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's fructose. Yeah, I know. But when you have fructose, even when you have an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Not anymore, it doesn't. It used to when I was a kid, because we didn't eat like that. I had ice cream and cookies too, I tell my grandchildren. But we didn't live on sugar. We didn't live on packaged goods that were full of sugar. China, here we are today. They're 26 grams, about 5 teaspoons. In Mexico, because they're drinking Coca-Cola for breakfast, they're at 92 grams. 23 teaspoons. And we're at 31 in North America. Plus 76. $19 teaspoons of fructose. If you have fructose, you know what fructose does? How do bears get fat? Well, they consume about 30,000 blueberries a day. I can't get over that. But that fructose is stored as fat immediately. Why do you think I got you off fructose on the reset for 30 days? No fruit. Nada. We live, guys, it's one of the points I'm making is we live in a different world. You know, I can't stand the new normal. You know, the new normal. Aren't you tired of hearing that? And people never want us to go back to the old way. 9 months ago. They want the new normal. Forever social distancing, forever wearing a mask, and la-da-la-da-da-da. I think we'll never be able to fly again. I'm just giving you a prediction. I'm not a prophet nor the son of one. I'm just telling you that I don't think you will be able to fly in 2021 ever again without a mask. And maybe, I'm just going to give you the new normal, I think, and I'm not, like I said, what do I know? I'm just giving you my opinion. You ain't going to be able to fly without a vaccine. That's my opinion. When the vaccine comes out, if you want to jump on an airplane, I think you're going to have a vaccine, especially if you're going to travel internationally at all. This is just my opinion. But I'm making a point. We don't live in the same world anymore. When you ever see a dump truck, and if a dump truck came to your house, and you know, sometimes you'll see a dump truck bringing soil or whatever, right? And dumping a load. Well, think of that as sugar. That's how much sugar the average North American is consuming a year, a dump truck load. Do you think your body was made for that? And this is what they miss on the whole thing about your health. Because sugar has an effect major on all the chronic killers in the world today, including COVID. They don't want to talk about that. The pharmaceutical companies want you to take a vaccine. Pharmaceutical, politicians, media. 3, pharmaceutical companies, politicians, media. Add another one. 4 big influence everything in your life. Pharmaceuticals, the food industry, the 2 biggest industries in the world. I put 3 fingers up. I meant to put 2. Pharmaceutical, food, politicians, the media. They drive the narrative. And so they're going to talk to you about cholesterol. There's a drug for cholesterol. But the drug you need to stop eating is sugar. "26 in China." They didn't get the memo yet from the food industry. "9 grams of fruit." Mexico, 92 grams, 55 grams of added fruit. And US, 124 and 76. Hot off the press, guys, on the most recent bad habits. But I'll tell you, it's destroying our lifestyle. Because heart disease, still the #1 killer. Not caused by fat, not caused by cholesterol, caused by sugar. And how it's driving insulin. And insulin drives up inflammation. And insulin drives up salt. You hold on to salt. It drives up blood pressure. It's not salt, it's sugar. I've proven it to so many people. If they will only listen. Remember what I said? John the Baptist in the wilderness. Repent! Stop eating sugar! And I get it. Like I said, I know there's a lot of even gurus telling you the opposite. But you have decisions to make. I give information, you make decisions. I give information, you make decisions. You know. Do you know what a Berean is? Bereans didn't take the Apostle Paul's word for it. They searched the scriptures to see if he was, guys, I'm just giving you information. You got to make those decisions. But I promise you, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. Cardiovascular disease. Cancer needs fuel. Alzheimer's. Why do you think they call it type 3 diabetes? Why do we see so much of it? Sugar. And don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by fruit. Fruit can be very deceptive. And again, when I was a little boy, different. We never had truckloads of sugar we were consuming in a year. The average Canadian, listen to this, in the 1950s. Part of my studies to get my PhD in nutrition was looking at the history of nutrition. It's fascinating. In the 1950s, Canadians, North Americans, were consuming 25 pounds of sugar a year. Seems like a lot. But you know what? You know how they had heart disease in the 1950s? And it was 10% of the population in the 1950s. 10%. It's 50, 60% of the population today. What changed? 10% wasn't sugar, by the way. It was smoking. The new smoking is sugar. Oh, Doc, I don't smoke. Well, good for you. Do you eat sugar? Yes, well, it's every bit as bad. What clogs up your arteries? Cholesterol? Nope. Sugar. Sugar, what it does, it destroys your blood vessels. It gets to that little Teflon layer. Your little epithelial cells there. It's Teflon. And that's why blood flows through very easily until you've got too much sugar, creates inflammation from the insulin, and it starts to damage the little Teflon. Now it's not as slippery. And now plaque starts to form. Before you know it, you have a clot. It can block up your arteries. It doesn't come from butter. It doesn't come from eggs. It doesn't come from meat. It comes from carbs, sugars. Oh, by the way, let me give you another statistic. I just read this morning. The average American, this is American statistics. You get a boatload of sugar, a boatload. You get, I mean it, a dump truck load. Pour it in your yard. That's how much sugar you're consuming. The average person. Not you, you're smart. Your kids, your grandchildren. But listen to this. And then you add fruit on it. Okay? Another boatload of fruit. Fruit's good. But not when you got a boatload of sugar with it. But listen to this. The average American consumes 133 pounds of flour. Now, when you see white flour, you see white flour? You see whole wheat flour? It's flour. What is flour going to be in 5 seconds? Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flour just turned into what in your bloodstream? Sugar. 133 pounds. Of flour a year on average. That's going to be sugar in 5 seconds. You see the problem we have? You know why I get gray hairs? It's food. But you have the pharmaceutical companies, the food companies that don't want you to know that. Of course not. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's whole wheat. I had a whole wheat muffin. I had a Tim Hortons carrot muffin. I need my fiber. Every time I say fiber, I pretend my nose is blocked. Fiber. Dr. Martin, I need my fiber. No, you don't. That is the biggest lie. If I don't have my oatmeal in the morning, I need my fiber. No, you don't. We live in it's the new normal. When it comes to food, you have to make a big adaptation. Understand some biochemistry. 101. And this is why you're seeing not a decrease. I know. I'm going over time, but I get crazy. This is why we see such a big increase in heart disease. You would think, come on. If statin drugs were the answer, we would have eradicated heart disease by now. Still the number one killer. Not COVID. Ooh, I get uptight. It's COVID. How many cases? How many people are dying of COVID? And everybody's forgotten about heart disease. Oh, we'll get back to that when we get rid of this virus. People are dying every day. Yesterday, 2,300 people in the United States died of heart disease. Never mind cancer. That was 1,600. You know how you can get those numbers? From the insurance companies. They know every day. 400 people yesterday in the United States died, 400, of diabetes yesterday. But all the media want to talk about. Remember, here's the thing. Pharmaceutical, food, politicians, scared skinny, being influenced for every politician in the United States, everyone in Congress, everyone, they have two pharmaceutical reps. I don't know about the food industry, but they have 2 pharmaceutical reps just for every congressman in Washington. And they are lobbying them 24/7 with money, with perks, with misinformation. That's how it works, guys. So you're not going to hear anybody go up against the pharmaceutical industry. It won't happen. Won't happen. They don't want to prevent disease. They want to manage disease. Okay. My heart's beating. If I had Rosie's watch, okay, because she's got one of those watches that tell her to breathe, I won't wear it. I don't want that thing telling me to breathe. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to post this. Unbelievable. Hey, I love you guys. Okay, I went overboard today, but I just had to get it off my chest. Okay, so we will, Lord willing, we'll talk tomorrow, okay? I think I'm going to do the one on sleep tomorrow, but I might not get past this one. My hair was standing straight up this morning as I was getting ready for this. Hey, I love you guys. Talk to you soon.